He's the host of the Bet the Boards podcast. He is a former odds maker at Caesars. I worked with him at Fox, and we both nearly ended that network's run. It's Todd Fuhrman, and he joins us now for Todd's Odds, brought to you by FanDuel. Todd, we talked about the Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers after Game 1, and you said if the Canucks could get some goaltending, you saw this one potentially going to a best of seven, going to a best of three, and that's exactly what's happened. We're down to a best of three, just as Todd predicted. So now, Todd, how are you feeling about this series as we get set for Game 5?
Look, I think the Canucks have the Oilers right where they want them. And if you asked Rick Tocchet before this series started, if you could narrow the sample size and draw the Oilers into your brand of hockey, would you feel comfortable beating them in a best 2 out of 3? And I think everybody in and around that Canucks organization would have given it a rubber stamp. So here we are now with the Canucks knowing they let a potential opportunity to steal Game 4 slip through their fingers last night. But the reality of it is they're getting the better goaltending, and that's even without Thatcher Demko. Artur Shilovs has been outstanding. And look, Calvin Pickard did a great job stepping in for Stuart Skinner, but I think his ceiling is limited. And now that Vancouver has a full game under their belt going up against the backup netminder, you may see them try and break tendency, get more shots on net. And I'll stand by it. I think this series is destined for a 7th game. Not sure if the Canucks win Game 5 or they need to win Game 6 on the road to stave off elimination. But I don't think Vancouver is going down without a fight. And I think we're in for some defensive-minded hockey over the next 2 to 3 games.
We have both series in the Eastern Conference going to a Game 6. We have the Rangers and the Panthers leading their series 3-2. Would you be putting any money at this point on the Bruins or the Canes actually making a comeback here?
So when you look at the prices for these games, Jay, it's interesting because Carolina now out to right around a minus $1.60 favorite. So odds makers believe that there is a better chance that they're going to force a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden than the Bruins going back on the road to Sunrise to play a Game 7 against the Florida Panthers. But I'm going to go against the numbers here and think both of these series could come to an end in Game 6. When I look at this Panthers team, they got their wake-up call. Jeremy Swayman called his shot, and kudos to them. But I really believe the Bruins emptied the tank. And when we look at Florida, they have a tendency to simplify their game when they're on the road. I think they're going to jump on the Bruins in the first period and put the Bruins' dreams of erasing a 3-1 deficit to rest. And for a Rangers team, look, they weren't good even building that 1-0 lead going into the third period. Carolina can hem and haw saying they've been unfortunate losing 2 overtime games to even get themselves behind the 8 ball, chasing a 3-0 series deficit. But if I have to back one netminder in a 1-game sample size, I'm going to lean on Igor Shesterkin, and I think the price is a little bit aggressive for Carolina. So I believe both of these series, much to the chagrin of casual hockey fans, come to an end in 6 games, and we don't get a single Game 7 in the Eastern Conference.
Finally, Todd, we have the PGA Championship at Valhalla happening this weekend. It is on TSN beginning Thursday morning. Let's take a look at the odds to win the tournament right now, brought to you by FanDuel. I have 2 questions for you, Todd Fuhrman. First, who do you like to win the PGA Championship? That seems simple enough. And second, which side do you fall on? Tiger to make the cut at plus 154 or Tiger to miss the cut at minus 250?
So we're going to go in reverse order here, Jay, and we'll look at the Tiger Woods prop first and foremost. Look, Tiger always does things at the Masters that defy the odds. It's basically his home course. He feels comfortable, but we saw him more or less unravel over the course of 72 holes. I'm not sure he gets to the weekend at Valhalla. I'm going to lay the price that Tiger Woods is home by the time that we get to Saturday. You've seen very real professional money come in against Tiger Woods in a lot of his head-to-head matchups. And while Tiger may be able to defy the odds for 18 holes, I just feel more confident laying that price that Tiger only plays 36. Now, in terms of picking an outright winner, Jay, I'm going to try and defy some of the odds here. I'm not going to give you one guy. I'm going to give you 3 at various price ranges. So if we're looking at guys with shorter odds on the board, I'm going to take Ludwig Aubert at a price just north of 20 to 1. I know he withdrew last weekend from the Wells Fargo, citing a lower body injury. But the folks that I've talked to said he's confident that that's not going to be an issue here. It was more a precautionary measure. I think the experience he developed at Augusta will pay dividends here, so I'll take him at 22. I'll go a little bit further down the board and buy low on Victor Hovland. I know he struggled to find form this season, but the Scandinavian wouldn't have been priced in this range at this time last year, and maybe the PGA is what gets him right, so I'll take a flyer there at 45 to 1. And when you're looking for a real long shot, we know the pedigree is there for a man that has ties to a very prominent NHL family. I think Dustin Johnson is being undersold here. I know the number hovering right around 100-1. Those are three guys that I would put in my portfolio and hope that one of them can win the PGA and hoist the trophy on Sunday.
DJ, yeah, it would be cool to see DJ back in form. Todd, always great to chat with you, my friend. We'll chat with you next week.